Hi, my name is Ronnie, and today we're going to install a Chanson VS-70 Under Counter water ionizer. Your box is going to come just like this, and we're going to go step by step on how to install it so everybody can have a very easy experience here. First, we'll take the cardboard insert off the top, and then we'll slide out the faucet section that comes in this cardboard container here. Slide off the sleeve, and we will take out the faucet section. Faucet section comes with some ties around the hosing, and we'll quickly remove the ties. And we'll also remove the strap on the cord. The hoses are clearly marked at the end with a red, which means acid, and a blue, which means alkaline. For everyone that's installing this piece, we need an 1 3/8 hole in the countertop. That is the standard size hole that all faucets, soap pumps, dishwasher aerators, that's the same size hole that all of those use. So it's a standard 1 3/8 hole. First thing we do is take the nut off the bottom. Now if you look over here, we actually have one installed in this granite countertop. If you have granite countertops and you have no hole that you can use, unless you have a drill bit that will go through granite 1 3/8, I suggest that you hire a granite company or a plumber, let them come by and make the hole for you, and then you can continue with the video. Once the hole is there, the machine is very easy to install. So I'm going to set this aside for just a second here, and let's unpack the rest of the product. We'll take out our ionizer. Let's take it out of the plastic. There's not many connections involved on our ionizer here. We have an alkaline spout and we have an acid spout. And I'm kind of going out of sequence here, but I want everybody to see how easy the finished product is going to be. Remember, red for acid, blue for alkaline, and then the plug will go on. The plug has a flat spot on top. The flat spot will be facing upward, and we take it and push it firmly in, and that's it. The whole faucet is now connected. We're going to do this again in more detail, but I want everybody to see how easy the finished product is. So connecting the faucet is very simple. You'll notice there'll be an owner's manual inside the box that will walk you through a lot of these procedures step by step. There's also 2 small box compartments inside. One will contain a section of hose, and the other will contain this DVD that you're probably watching right now. Set these down here, and the other box will contain your water supply connections. So in this box we have some pH reagent drops. You'll be able to test your water after the machine is all hooked up and running, and we'll get back to this in a few seconds. And it also has a connection to your spout, which we'll cut open. So here's the first part of what we have in here. To get any water ionizer hooked up under the sink, the first thing that you need is a water supply. Now, there's only 2 sizes of water supplies. There's either a 3/8 inch thread or there's a 1/2 inch thread. The included adapter here is for 3/8 inch. And basically you take off where your hose is coming down from your faucet into the cold water supply line, which will be the spigot on the right hand side. You'll turn that water supply off, unscrew the nut for the hose coming down from your faucet, take that off, screw this on, Get it nice and snug. You don't have to wrench it really hard, but get it nice and snug. It's got a rubber gasket in there that'll make the seal. Get it nice and snug. And then you'll have a roll of Teflon tape. We do not include this with the ionizer. You can get this Teflon tape at any local hardware store, Home Depot, any of those supply stores. It's very cheap. It's only about 50 cents for a roll. You'll take the tape out, and as with any threads on any plumbing that you do, you'll take the tape and you'll wrap it around the threads. Now I'm not going to do that for time's sakes here, but just wrap it around really thick so you can't even see the deepness of the threads anymore. And now this is screwed on to your shut-off, cold shut-off valve under the sink. You've taken your hose connection, screwed it back onto this, and then you'll screw this in to the diverter. And this will enable you to hook up your hose that goes to the water ionizer and supplies the water to the whole system. So this will be your first step. Now, if you have a 3/8 inch connection, we're also going to include a 3/8 adapter. And this one is the same exact concept as this one. You just take off your hose from the cold water line, shut it off first, shut the water supply off first, screw this on, and you'll see this one screws on independently so you can move it out of your way. Screw this on nice and tight, screw the water supply hose back on here nice and tight, and this one has its own shut-off going out to the water ionizer. These are John Guest fittings, and we're going to talk about that more in detail later, but the John Guest fittings are very simple. All you have to do is take the tube and press it into the John Guest fitting until it can't go anymore and it seats. You'll know you got it right because it won't pull out. If you ever need to remove this fitting, you take your fingernail and you'll see there's an outer collar here on the fitting. Take your fingernail, press in on that collar, and pull firmly out, and the hose will release itself. So connecting it is as easy as pushing it in firmly, and it is totally sealed. So just so we're clear on the install, you're going to go under your sink, you're going to locate your cold water supply. You're going to shut it off. You're going to take a wrench like this, or an adjustable wrench, and you're going to take off that cold water hose, move it out of the way, and insert either this one for a 1/2 inch thread or this one for a 3/8 inch thread. Once you have those connected, you're going to get your machine set up, leaving the water supply under the sink off. You'll get your machine set up, and you'll notice there's only those 3 connections on the front. There's the acid water, the alkaline water, and the plug. On the back, here's where our main water supply goes in. And this is a threaded connection. So the easiest way to get this set up is we take the machine and gently set it on its side. We take some Teflon tape and wrap it around the threads. And I'm doing a quick job here so we don't stretch this video out too long, but wrap it around a whole bunch of times so you barely see the threads anymore and it's nice and thick. And then you'll take the section of 3/8 inch tubing that came with the ionizer and take that end, find the collar that came in the package, that same package I just opened. Slip the collar over the end of the tube. Take the tube and firmly push it in to the end of this. Wiggle it around so it's firmly pushed in and it's seated. Then take this collar and thread it on. If it's not going on easily, then you probably have it cross-threaded. It shouldn't be really hard to put on. If it doesn't start threading easily, back it off, put it back on again, and try and put it on completely straight. Turn it as hard as you can with your hand, and then when you can't get it turned anymore with your hand, take your pliers and give it about 4 or 5 more turns, full turns, When this thing is on completely, you should only see maybe 2 or 3 threads showing at this collar. So that's how you'll know you'll have it on firmly. 2 or 3 threads showing at the end, and it's ready to go. Now, it's very important that everybody recognize something here, and this is where people get confused on this install. This is a 3/8 inch hose. The standard that we use here in the United States is 1/4 inch hose. Now, if you have a triple filter system, which we're going to talk about in another segment, you'll be using 1/4 inch hose, and you'll have to get the 1/4 inch hose connected into the 3/8 inch hose, because the supply for this water will be coming out of the pre-filter system and into this to feed the ionizer. Normally, if you're not using a pre-filter system and you have this one in place for your 1/2 inch thread, you'll be able to take this collar off, slip it over the end of your tube, push the tube right onto the end of this, nice and hard, put your collar on and tighten it up as tight as you can get it, and that is your supply of your ionizer is done. This is if you're not using a pre-filter system. Once it's on, you turn this lever and the water supply is fully into your ionizer and ready to go. You're not going to turn on any water at all until everything is 100% connected. Because if you turned on the water and the ionizer faucet's not connected, you're going to find yourself flooding the undersection of your sink out, which you don't want to do. So if you are using a pre-filter system, or if your under sink happened to be 3/8 and you're using this 1/4 inch John Guest, then we need to come from this, which will have this tubing, and we'll need to get the other end of that tube connected to the ionizer. And the way we do that is we have included a John Guest reducer union that goes from 3/8 inch on one side to 1/4 inch on the other side. And it's as simple as this. Take the 3/8 inch side, push it down till it won't go on any further. Take the 1/4 inch side and push it in till it will not go any further. Now you have a good firm connection, and this is how we change from 3/8 inch tube to 1/4 inch tube. If by any reason this was not included in your kit, one of these pieces, there's 2 things you can do. You can call us and we'll send one out to you, or you can go to your local Home Depot in the plumbing section, and these are called Quick Connect or John Guest fittings. 3/8 to 1/4 inch union. I will warn you, if you're in Home Depot and you ask somebody for this, a lot of times they don't know that they have the product there, and it's best to just go into the plumbing section and look on the aisles to see a product like this. Ours is gray. The ones you'll find in Home Depot are white. It's the same exact thing. And again, to release it, we just push in on the collar and pull the hoses out. So again, for connecting our ionizer, the first thing that we did is get our water supply straight. And we're going to show you under the cabinet in just a second. But we get our water supply straight either using this or this. Some of your kits might also include this one. And this is basically the same as this. The only difference, and they're both 1/2 inch. The only difference is this one has a 1/4 inch John Guest quick connect at the end, so it just goes right in, rather than this having the 3/8 inch outlet. I think some of the kits were including all 3 of these pieces, and some of them where we have just converted over to having these 2. So they're both going to be quick connect 1/4 inch outlets. And then we'll have this in there so you can convert up from your 1/4 inch to your 3/8 inch hose. Now when it comes to installing the faucet body, as I said earlier, you have your 1 3/8 inch hole. There will be a rubber gasket already installed at the bottom of the unit, and you'll also find a second rubber gasket in the kit. Do not slip this on. This is to go under the cabinet, under this countertop, and not on top. It already includes a rubber gasket on it, so just feed this through the hole, feed the wires down underneath. You will go underneath the sink and feed the rubber gasket onto the ends of the wires and your installation nut onto the ends of the wires. And we're not going to go under the sink to show you this because I want everybody to see this clearly, but just picture this being under the sink, and you'll get the rubber gasket fed up a little bit and get it threaded on. Now, once I get this on and I can feel that it's threaded a little bit and it's starting to screw on, the next thing I do, and this is the filter wrench included in the kit, you'll also take this and thread it onto the end. You'll see one end has a star-like design and the other end's just circular. Take this and thread it onto the end. Just feed the hoses through and get this up under, and you can spin this on and get it nice and tight. Now, some of you might run into a small issue if you've drilled your own hole. Sometimes there's very thick plywood underneath, or sometimes people have laid a new countertop on an old countertop. If that's the case, you're going to have to get something called a Forstner drill bit, F-O-R-S-T-E-R. I'm sorry, F-O-R-S-T-E-R-N-E-R. Forstner. It's basically a flat drill bit that'll allow you to go up under there and drill some of the undersided plywood away. That way you'll have enough threads exposed to get this nut on. That's not going to be the case with most customers, but if you feed this through and you find that underneath there's no thread showing at all, you're going to have to come with the drill bit all around this, take it out first, come with your drill bit into that plywood and get enough plywood out so that there's enough threads exposed to get your nut on. Again, most customers won't have to deal with that. The standard countertop thickness is designed to work well with that. You'll take this and you'll tighten it until it's really tight with your hand, but you will not need any other tool besides this to get it tight. You'll know that it's snug when the bottom is kind of hard to move, because the bottom is not meant to constantly move. This will move freely and smoothly no matter how tight you get that nut, but you want to get it tight enough to where the bottom spout will barely move. Once this is in place, like this unit here, you'll usually set that bottom faucet where you're going to have it permanently, and the one neat thing about this faucet is this will always be able to move up or down in any position. So if you have a glass over here or a bowl that you want to fill, instead of having it tilted down, you can tilt it over sideways, so there's not reason to constantly move the bottom spout. The top spout will be fully adjustable, so if you want a glass sitting on your countertop, you'll be able to sit a glass right here, or you can fill pitchers up in the sink. Make sure you have the screen facing in whatever direction that you want. So basically, now that you have your nut tightened on the unit, everything up top is finished as far as the installation goes. And now we're going to go underneath. Now we're set to install the Chanson VS-70 under the sink. The faucet body is completely installed, and you will have these three connectors hanging down like we talked about in the beginning of the video. One will have a red tag, one will have a blue tag, and then you'll have your black connector. You'll go to the machine and you'll plug in the black connector to the machine first, and remember, there's a flat side to the top of the plug. You want to make sure the flat side is facing upward and it goes in on an angle. It doesn't go straight. It goes in slightly tilted downward, and very lightly and gently push it in. Now there's a bunch of prongs like any computer cable. If you force it in the wrong way, you're going to bend those prongs and you're not going to get it in. So again, don't force it. Have the flat part facing straight up and push it gently until it's totally connected. Then you're going to take the two clips that came in the package and you're going to slip them over the ends of the tubing. And you might need a pliers to do that with. Just take the clip and pinch it like this and slip it over the end of both tubes. And now we're ready for the final part of the faucet install. Take the tube with the blue sticker on it and slip it over the section that says Alkaline. Take the tube with the red sticker on it and slip it over the section that says Acid. Take your pliers and pinch those brackets and slip them as far forward as you can get them. And now your faucet is 100% installed. There's only two things left to complete the installation now. One is our water supply. We have to get our main water supply connected from the back of the machine, which is right here, into our water supply. And we have to get the main power plug connected into the wall. This is a problem that some of you will run into. There's only two plugs under the sink, and some of you will have a garbage disposal plugged in and a dishwasher plugged in. If that's the case, you're going to need to go to Home Depot or your local hardware store and purchase a plug extension device like this that allows you to plug in two or more plugs. Remove the dishwasher plug only, not the garbage disposal plug. The garbage disposal plug is on a switch, and you don't want your ionizer to be on that switch. So remove the one that is for your dishwasher only and plug this in, and then plug the ionizer and your dishwasher back into this triple plug. If you're using the connector under the sink that we talked about earlier, all you need to do now is slip this nut over the line, slip it on here, screw this on real tight, and turn your water on, and you're all set to go. If you're using one of our quick connect devices, then what you need to do first is find your reducing union, which is right here. Slip this on to the end of your tube, and any household scissors will cut this tubing. So you can take, if the tubing is too long, you can take the scissor, cut the tubing down here, make sure there's no burrs. If there are, just clip them off and put this down onto the end. You could take your 1/4 inch tubing, cut it the same way. After you cut the tubing, it's very important to make sure that the tubing is still round at the end and not flattened out. So take it with your fingers and make it round again. Go to your fitting for your water supply, push the 1/4 inch tube in very firmly, pull it, and then go to your other end and connect it into the Chanson Ionizer water supply. Okay? Now you could go under the sink, turn the water pressure back on with the main water pressure valve, and then turn the water on to this one. Your install is 100% complete and you're ready to start drinking the best water on the planet. If you're installing a pre-filter system with your Chanson VS-70 Ionizer, which we highly recommend, I'm going to give you some installation instructions for that. Whenever we send you out the pre-filter, and this happens to be our H3 pre-filtration system, we're going to include a couple pieces with it. We're going to include a water control valve, which will also shut off the water supply, and we're going to include a water outlet valve, which your water will go out of. These are also these John Guest or Quick Connect fittings, where the 1/4 inch tube that will be supplied also with the triple filter system will be able to just push right in, or if you need to remove it, hold on to that collar and pull out. Same way with this one, it's just a quick connect fitting, push in and push out. So to install this is very simple, and if you've ordered your triple filter system from us, it's going to come with all of the canisters pre-installed. All you have to do is get yourself some Teflon tape that you can get at any local hardware store or at your local Home Depot. Take out the tape and wrap it around those threads, and I wrap around 7 or 8 times around those threads to where the threads aren't very visible anymore. The more the better. You cannot overwrap these threads. Just wrap it around the threads. You'll see on the top of the canisters, on one side it says in, and on the other side it says out, right on the top. This pressure control or shutoff valve will always go on the inlet. It also coincides with the sticker that says number 1 on the canister. And we'll push this in. Be careful that you don't cross thread it, which means you get it in and it's slightly tilted and starts to thread. Try to push it to where it feels like it's snug, and then lightly turn it to where you feel the threads catching, and then turn it as hard as you can by hand. You do not need a wrench for this one. Just hand tighten it, and that should be fine. You'll know that this thing is in far enough because you won't see any threads shown. Do the same with this side. Wrap it with the Teflon tape 6 or 7 times around, and on the outgoing side, push it in to where you feel it set flat, and take a wrench and adjustable pliers and tighten this thing down all the way until you see no thread showing at all. Now your canister is ready to be installed. The only thing you have to do to install this canister now, and we're going to assume that your ionizer is already installed, or you followed all the directions that we showed in the first segment to install the ionizer. Take the main tube coming out of the back of the ionizer, and remember, we have 3/8 inch tube coming out of the back of the ionizer. We have the Quick Connect Union hub on there, and we've dropped it down to our 1/4 inch tube. In the previous segment I showed, and your tubes do not need to be this long. We're just not cutting them for the sake of this video. But I showed you in the last segment that the end of the water ionizer supply is connected into your main wall supply. Remove this, or if you're hooking these all up together, you don't need to remove it. You will need to cut yourself a section of tubing. So take some of the tubing that we sent you, get it right to the end of the scissors and clip it. Make sure you straighten it back out with your fingers, and if you see anything loose on there, just take it off. And now with our loose section of tubing, we're going to go in to the ionizer. This is the in section. This is the section where it says #1 filter. And we're going to go to our wall supply. So the first place we want water to go is coming out of your main supply and to the in section of the ionizer. So we'll just clip this in. If you have one of these that we also include, this is for 3/8 inch thread, this is for 1/2 inch. They both do the same exact thing, they're just for different size faucets. If you have this, it'll be the same exact thing. You'll just have it connected into here like this. If this is plugged in and you turn your water supply on and you see drips coming out of here, 9 times out of 10, it's because the scissor cut you did left the line too jagged. If that's the case, take it with the scissor and cut it again. If you don't see the edges are round and smooth, maybe the best thing to do is get a razor blade and cut it. It has to be smooth on the edge or else it won't make a proper seal. So now you've got the water supply connected into here, and you can take this blue valve and turn it sideways and turn on your water supply now and send pressure to the unit. This is turned off so no water will come out this other side. We highly recommend that you flush the filters out before connecting it to your ionizer. So before we take the supply end and connect it into the ionizer, which will be your final step. So once this is plugged in here, your installation is complete and your ionizer is totally supplied. This is what I suggest to everybody to do first. Don't connect it to your ionizer yet. Take this and put it in your sink, open the pressure valve, and let these filters flush out for 10 full minutes. You might need to weight down this tube or put some rags on it or slip it under a glass or something, because a lot of pressure will come out of this end and it will pop out of your sink and start spraying everywhere. So either stand there and hold it, slip it way down into your drain and put some weight on it, but either way, turn the supply on and let this flush out into your sink for 10 full minutes. Once you've done that, turn the water supply off, take the end of this, and remember, you can cut this wire as short as you want. Don't cut it too short, because a year from the date of your installation, you're going to want to slip this pre-filter out from under the sink and have access to change these filters. So you don't want to cut your hoses too short. But essentially, after it's all flushed out, go ahead and connect it into your ionizer, and you're ready to start drinking the best water the world has to offer. In our last segment, we talked about how to adjust the machine and how to get all the different pH settings. Now we want to talk about what we recommend for different types of individuals. People that are in general good health and below the age of 60, we recommend that they start drinking on the low alkaline water setting. Low alkaline water can range anywhere from 8 on the pH scale up to 8.5, even as high as 9. Drink the low alkaline water for 1 full week. It's also recommended that you try to drink your body weight in ounces. Your body weight in ounces. So if you weigh 100 pounds, you want to drink 100 ounces of the water. Might seem like a lot to many, but if you force yourself during the first week, you'll find that you start getting cravings for the water, and it'll become easier and easier to drink that amount of water. But remember, it takes a lot of alkalinity to neutralize acidity in the body. So you want to drink a good amount of the water to get the results that you're looking for. After the first week, you can move up to the mid-alkaline section, and by the third week, move up to the standard drinking section. Standard is where the machine will come on. Every time you turn it on, it will automatically go to standard. Refer to the instructions we gave earlier or your owner's manual to see the easy ways to set the machine to different settings every time you turn it on. For people that have a sickness such as cancer, diabetes, any serious disease, and you're over the age of 60, we recommend that you start drinking the water at low alkaline level and stay there for the first 2 weeks. Switch to mid-alkaline after the second week and stay there for another full 2 weeks. And don't go to the standard alkaline water until you've been drinking at low and mid for a full month. So 2 weeks at low alkaline, 2 weeks at mid-alkaline, and then you can permanently drink at the standard alkaline water setting. As far as the acid water goes, you will use the strong alkaline water setting for collecting your acid water that you'll disinfect with and sterilize with. You'll also collect the strong alkaline water. Remember, there's 2 spouts. When you turn it to the strong setting, the alkaline water will be coming out of this spout and the acid water will be coming out of the lower spout. Collect your acid water at the strong setting for disinfecting. I use the acid water on my skin. You can use it to spritz on your toenails, on your fingernails. It'll exfoliate dead skin cells on contact. You can spray it on your toilet bowl, your countertops, your cooking boards, any place that you want to disinfect or kill bacteria. If you get a cut or a scrape or you have some really dry skin patches, you can spray it on there. You can go to Walmart or Kmart or Target or any of those stores and get some empty spray bottles and collect the acid water. One thing really neat about the acid water is it doesn't ever lose its power. The longer it's in the bottle, the stronger it gets. So you can bottle it up and store it up and keep it under counter, inside cabinets and under countertops, sink sections, things like that. The strong alkaline water is great for making coffee, soaking beans or pasta, boiling rice, making tea. It's also great for filling up a bowl and taking your fresh produce and soaking it in there. It'll help to remove pesticides and waxes. The strong alkaline water is great for that. And then once you become accustomed, after you drink the alkaline water for a good year or year and a half, you might find once a day you want to drink half a glass of that really strong alkaline water, and it's great for flushing out the system and rejuvenating cells. It's fantastic for that. And those are our recommendations on drinking the various different types of water. We look forward to your health reports. Once you have your machine all hooked up, there's going to be some mild adjustments that you need to make. 2 things to be very clear about. If you're in an area that has hard water, you're going to make an adjustment to the machine's setting that we're going to show you how to do. But if you have soft water, this adjustment will not be necessary. If you're not sure whether you have hard water or soft water, call your local water supplier and ask them what your TDS is. T like Tom, D like David, S like Sam. TDS. That's the total dissolved solids. If your total dissolved solids are above 300, you have hard water. If you have hard water, the way to adjust the machine is wait until the screen is blank like you see right now, and then take your finger and set it firmly over the plus and the minus symbol at the same time. Push both at the same time and you will see the screen turn orange. The second it turns orange, take your finger off and hit menu, plus, menu. Now, I hit a button by accident so it didn't work, and this might happen to some of you the first, second, or even third or fourth time you try this. It is a tricky adjustment and it's mostly meant to be done at the factory. But since we have different water qualities all over the United States, we can't preset every machine for your water quality. So again, set your finger flat on the plus and minus button at the same exact time. Wait for it to turn orange, take your finger off, hit menu, plus, menu, minus. you'll see it show up to TDS and hit OK. You'll see this bar graph, and I want you to hit the plus button until you see the number 14 and then hit OK. Hit the plus button and it'll go to exit and then hit OK, and now your machine is set for hard water. Again, remember, if you don't have hard water 300 or above on the TDS range, you do not need to do the setting that I just did. Now I'm going to show everybody this one more time. I know I had to go through it fast, but basically if you don't hit the buttons in this sequence, the machine will keep resetting itself and you'll not accomplish this adjustment you're trying to do. So I'll do it one more time so everybody can be clear. Take your finger and press that, set it down on the plus and minus exactly at the same time. Now you'll find if you hit it, if you don't hit them, this is what will happen. You'll see settings start to change, but it won't go to orange. So you need the plus and minus at the exact same time. You also need the machine to set back to the clock or set to black before it'll allow you to do it. So plus and minus at the same time. Turns orange, take your hand off. Menu, plus, menu, minus. You'll see the TDS highlighted, hit OK. Turn it up to number 14 with the plus button. And then hit OK. If you don't hit OK, that setting will not be saved. Do not change any other setting when you're in that menu than the TDS. If you change any other setting, you could damage the machine, you can void your warranty. Do not change any other setting outside of the TDS. Now, Alright, now, for basic adjustments, you can refer to your owner's manual, but we're going to very quickly go through to how to make basic adjustments on the Chanson Water Ionizer. You hit the menu button, and it'll show you time. The way to change menu items is with your plus or your minus, and it doesn't matter which one you hit. So we'll hit menu, and plus time or lock, pH set, filter reset, volume set, language option, voice assistant, or exit. First thing we'll do is set the time. Hit the menu button, hit OK, and the hour will be flashing. Hit plus or minus to adjust your time. Hit OK, and then the minutes will be flashing. Hit plus or minus to adjust your minutes. Hit OK, and your time is set. And it'll go back to time. Now, the second thing that we want to adjust is our pH. Our voice assistant, you hit OK, you'll see we have Chinese, English, or music. So you could hit plus or minus and set it to where it either plays piano music, or it speaks to you in Chinese, or it speaks to you in English. Go to menu again, and language option, you hit OK, and you could go to English or Chinese. We want English, and then we'll go to volume set and hit OK. And we'll start playing music to show you how loud the volume is. You can set your volume up or down. We recommend that you leave the volume on so you can always hear what the machine is doing. After volume is your filter reset. Whenever it's time to reset the filter, you just hit OK. It'll go down to yes or no, and you hit OK. That resets your filter every time you change the filter. And then here's the other setting you'll change is pH. Go to pH set, hit OK, and you'll see your alkalinity levels: low alkaline, mild alkaline, standard alkaline, and strong alkaline. Let's adjust strong. We'll hit OK, and then it'll show what the pH is currently set at, and then we'll hit the plus. And the machine will talk to you, and it'll only go up within 5 points, and we'll hit OK to permanently set that adjustment in. So the machine has 4 pH settings: low, mid, standard, and strong. You can adjust the pH within 5 points of each one of those, only up, not down. And again, let's do another one. Standard. We'll find the pH set, hit OK. Hit the minus until we see standard, hit OK. It says 9.5, we'll dial it up to a 10, and we'll hit OK. Now it's permanently set there. As far as the pH settings go, we recommend that everybody start drinking at the low alkaline level. Now, the machine is set at default to come on at standard pH level. So every time you press your fingerprint on this, the center button, it will come on at standard alkaline. We recommend that in the first week you drink at low alkaline, the second week move it up to mid alkaline, and if you're somebody that's sick or you're over the age of 60, we recommend that you stay on the mid alkaline section for 2 full weeks. So low alkaline for 1 week, mid alkaline for 2 full weeks. If you're young and you don't have any medical issues, you can go a week at a time. A week at low alkaline, a week at mid alkaline, and then go to your standard where you're going to permanently drink. There's never a reason to drink the water at strong alkaline. That's just for cooking with and rinsing vegetables and that kind of thing. So remember, when we turn it on, it automatically goes to standard alkaline. So for the first 2 weeks, you're going to drink at different settings. The way to do that is just go right up to the machine and hit your plus or minus button. I hit the minus. And get the setting you want. In this case, it'll be low, and then hit the on button. And it'll come right on to the low setting. Now, if you want, for the first week, you can lock the ionizer onto that setting by, while it's on, hit the menu button and you'll see lock and hit OK. The lock symbol will stay up in the upper right hand corner, and every time you turn it on it'll go right on to low alkaline setting and it'll stay locked. The way to get that lock removed from there is just hit the menu button and hit OK. I'll do that again. Lock will show up, hit OK, and the lock will come off.